Hello, everybody. I am the player Phoenix, and I'm back with my friend Castle Oblivion, playing more of our informative guide on Stellaris. From our last session, you've seen there was a minor patch update that was just basically fixing hotfixes and all that stuff. It shouldn't impact your general knowledge, what we're expecting for the current ones, or unless they do a big major update without our permission, then that's good change. But overall, this is taking place right after the end of the last session, but on a different day. So some of us may forget what we're doing, some of us know what we're doing. When all that's said and done, I'll take it to Castle and tell what our situation is.
Yeah, Castle Oblivion. I am in an interesting situation where I am currently losing a Cold War with one faction and have suddenly declared war on another because for some reason one is superior to me militarily and the other is pathetic. I have no idea what happened in that instance, but I'm at war. I declared war just at the end of the last session. Yeah, and I literally haven't even gotten my fleets into position to start moving on them or anything. We're just starting the war. Nothing really has happened between sessions because of that, because we haven't really done anything between sessions.
We try
So
to avoid that because some of us may go very far ahead without explaining stuff.
yeah, it's a good idea not to jump ahead too much because suddenly you can have pretty important story stuff happen without noticing
But
if you
also,
have stuff off too long.
that's true. But
Off the
also,
screen.
also mind you, if this doesn't go our plan when he's planning to go to war, this could be abandoned and start fresh anew if the thing goes as he wants to.
Yeah, my plan is pretty much a two-part plan. Part one, we're attacking the Hivemind, taking a bunch of land as much as really possible.
We're taking much land of the Collective, which is the Hivemind, since people may
Yes,
not
the
know that.
Hivemind. What was it called again? Calaxian Collective? Yes. So my plan is I'm already at war with them. I'm just going to take a bunch of territory, try to get more resources and alloys specifically, and then build up my army even more so that I can finally fight this Sathori Star Church, which is really surprising me how resilient they are. And I've talked a little bit off screen, and I think maybe on screen. I don't remember. But about the fact that I think that the Sathori Star Church may actually be in a Cold War with someone else, and that's why they're building up so hard.
You did say that, but also the reason why we have to go because I'm basically stranded where I am, because over here on my screen, the pyramid cleansers have taken control of choke point that I cannot expand besides my spiral. Besides, this one is controlled by a castle for me to help him in case he gets declared war on. I have to come in.
Yes, we currently have a defensive pact, so only if we were to get declared on would that become necessary. But as soon as you fix your military from your unfortunate blunders in the last session,
it's fine there.
we should be fine.
I just need to increase the capacity.
We should be fine with fighting that Sathori Star Church, especially if we get the Federation going. I believe you are going towards the Federation, correct?
I have the Federation added so we can start on that mark.
Okay, the next thing you should probably get is actually the Federation tradition, so that we can.
Which should be in 34 months.
That sounds about right.
But I got the Federation. But next bullet is the coronation. Federal location counts twice as much. That might be important. Diplomatic networking increases utility for embassies, which I probably should do after I put for next one. Which is basically my two options once I get the Unity back up in 34 months. Because we can make the Federation, but the reason I'm not making the Federation now because I'll be dragged into Castle's war, and I'm not prepared for that.
I am actually not sure about that. Usually, Paradox games don't let that happen. And what I mean by that is usually they either won't let you join a federation while someone's at war, or they just won't let you get dragged in unless the person like asks for it. Usually you don't get dragged in and stuff like that, except for in CK3, which is actually a really annoying but really important ability in that game is forming new alliances mid-war and then pulling them in.
Mm-hmm. And in front of me for my session, I'm busy balancing having issues with food for some reason. And I'm busy I'm busy trying to reconnect my spiral before I lose more space to my connecting of my spiral to some other empire, which would be yours, but I don't mind that.
Fair.
Which I'm basically battling because I have stuck with with threat fleets where my science ship is for me to expand, and my fleet is not prepared for that. I need to increase the capacity to do some damage.
Yep. In order to increase fleet capacity, the best way you can do that is to create starports and add anchorages to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the technology that I was talking about last time, or no? No, I don't. Cool. There's a military technology that's really useful for that too, but I can't remember what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, shall we unpause and begin?
I'll do so. Oh, actually, you gotta increase the speed
All
by
right.
one. You gotta increase the speed right there.
Got it.
Now, I cannot see the war from his view, but he can slightly explain
Yes.
as best he can.
So,
and which
some
independence
people
just
might. Who just could depend.
It was from,
Right.
Yeah, cause
Okay,
because I did
so
off-screen stuff to you.
Yes, we we accidentally let it run for I think like 10 days or something small like that.
So I can get some better view on what's our situation with the Hivemind.
Yeah. So this is important that I declared war early enough because had that happened and I would have had to have declared war on them, it would have then drew the Sathori Star Church also into that war. So it's a good thing that I was able to grab on and pull into them before anything happened regarding that. Okay, so it has come to my attention that I currently have 0 armies.
Oh yeah, that's why you probably build them up during the off-screen section.
Yeah. No, it seems like I noticed it right at the end of the last session because I have all of them building.
Mm-hmm. I gotta find me another plan besides Sirius to have me a starport. Actually, I do have a starport. I gotta upgrade that.
You can put starports, by the way, in any system.
I just feel like I just feel like it's comfortable because of the colony reasons.
I can definitely see that. Honestly, I think that mostly applies when you have a trade center or a trading hub, but honestly, not that important to do in my experience. Because usually the reason you'd usually put a trading hub on a planet or in a planet system would be because usually planets are the things that give you the most trade power. But in my situation, that is actually very much untrue. Oh, attacking enemy assets. Cool. I guess we're starting. First combat.
My colony is upgrade this population building now. So I get my first plan animation. I'll probably get more naval capacity. Probably.
Why? What's happening?
I don't know.
Oh wait, are they all in there? Oh, I see. Ah, my scientist just offed himself.
I see you conquered one of the things already.
I have 1.
You got Hika. Oi.
Heck.
So what he's basically do, since I'm not demanding war, slightly explain war exhaust, since you're at war.
So, war exhaustion. Basically, it's a really simple concept if you're familiar with basically any other Paradox game that uses warfare. It's the exact same principle. Otherwise, if you're not familiar, war exhaustion is the concept of literally, as it says, being exhausted by war, not wanting to continue fighting. It's just, regardless of if you have the materials to go to war, people get tired of war. They get tired of the exhaustion of never seeing an end to a war. One of the very important decisions of most wars actually ending is not through occupation in real life. I'm referring to. It's actually usually through the fact that the people just aren't willing or able to fight any further.
Mm-hmm. Before this, there was actually in the early Stellaris was option just how much you conquer them. Remember correctly?
Yes. So war exhaustion goes through over a couple increases over a couple of ways. One thing is of course simply time. The longer a war goes on, the less people want to deal with it. And eventually you will be forced to surrender
or truce.
Is it status quo automatically or automatically surrender? I can't actually
I have no
recall.
idea. I never got that far. I was always focused on bombarding them to conquer them in my playthroughs.
Okay. Either way, it's one of the two. Either it immediately status quos the war, or it immediately surrenders the war. Wow, my brain just took a fat dump.
Yeah.
Why are you all the way over there? Whatever. Okay. My military or my armies are being built. My weak, simple armies. Assault armies, that is. Oh, I never mentioned the second thing for war exhaustion is, of course, fatalities. Anytime that a ship is destroyed, an army is defeated, or otherwise, something similar to that, you will get attrition, basically, which is, like I said, accumulated over time. Actually, they don't count it as attrition when it's done by battle. They count it as battles, but regardless.
Makes sense.
Don't lose people, basically.
And
in fact,
it's complete.
Then you won't have enough to fight, basically.
Yes. They kind of. It's almost like they kind of replaced manpower with war exhaustion in this a lot. If anyone's familiar with EU4, which is what I was just recently playing. Before this, so that's. Oh, I just established communications with the United Sutharian Domains.
Is that...
Oh, this is one of my custom peoples.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well,
so,
slightly explain before so you can finish. Focus on your war without getting lost.
Right. So basically, I have a rather simple strategy. Which actually is very similar to how you would have a strategy in Hearts of Iron 4, which is basically just blanket strategy, which is just having a wall of people just going in a line and taking what you need, using almost like battle lines or how a war front kind of deal. And then whenever I have a system that I have a planet in, then I just make the... Then I just conquer that planet, basically. Obviously. I don't like using bombardment on planets unless I really have to, because I don't like the devastation that ends up happening to it,
Construction complete.
All right, so I am now...
Well, yeah, I can slightly claim a planet in my other branch of things I have that's near a primitive civilization, and I can be somewhat close to the empire, but not really.
In my opinion, claiming systems generally isn't a good idea unless you plan on actually going to war and conquering them, which sounds obvious, but basically, like, don't waste your influence doing it unless you think you can actually use it, if that makes any sense.
Now, for food reasons, I need to slightly turn that down. They don't understand why food is a problem with these people.
Okay, so my first problem is about to show up, and that would be the Siggy station in the Siggy system. Starports usually end up having a lot more defense. Let's see, I can't actually see how much defense that is, so I can't tell of how much of an obstacle this is going to be, unfortunately. I'm probably going to have to throw quite a bit at it, considering how I saw.
Society reasons.
The Old Gods Revelation.
I'll increase my research and.
Thank you.
Complete.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get more scientists.
Right. This is one of the few events that I just got that you can actually change your ethics with. The Old Gods. When you finish the Old Gods tree or quest line, I suppose, one of the options is to start a religious renaissance, shifting the empire towards a spiritualist belief. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, gross. You're a different role.
I take Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I was paused. I think I'm gonna take the
We open
research from it.
the
So
cleansers open our borders to us. Open the border to me.
interesting.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. The cleansers are less hated, less hate me, but they're neutral. But they let us open.
Weary of me. They don't think that I mean them well, which I
Incoming
don't.
transmission.
Well,
But
I'm getting MC with them now.
I'm not gonna. I think they offered me an embassy in the last session, but I declined.
Well, I took it. I took it.
Because I was. Yeah, I was planning on going to war with them relatively soon.
But you have to go through the hive
United
mind.
Su-
You have to go through the hive mind to get to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going. Ooh, hold on. I can actually do this. Let's do yes and yes. Are you
Ships
willing? No?
upgraded.
Okay, go fuck yourself. I'm doing trades and they don't want to do the trade, so I'm throwing money at the problem.
That's always good. Ah, traditions. All right. I was gonna.
An alien empire has
Hello.
established communication.
Okay, pausing. Wow, a lot
I-
of things just popped up at once.
I got the entire Saturn domains. That's your empire, I'm
United
guessing?
Galactic Systems. Oh my goodness. All of my fucking like egalitarian peoples are showing up in this game because the United Galactic Systems or the UGS is another thing that I made. The Irzuku Trade Association, peaceful traders, fair enough.
Well, it looks like
The
you're fighting against yourself.
The Urbaric Mercantile Guilds, which are ruthless capitalists, truly unfortunate. The Figuar Trade Commission.
I'm actually gonna get me the extra utility from the embassies I have for tradition.
I want to say that this definitely isn't mine. We have another hive mind. Luckily, it's a good hive mind again. And yep, there they are. The UGS.
Well,
The
for
United
me,
Galactic
I got your domain. I got United Soren domains, not that other one.
All right, so here I'll give you my communications.
That did.
Yeah,
Incoming
Bushki.
transmission.
All right.
And now you should have about 1,000 different people being like, "Hey,
Yep. The Trade Association.
Incoming transmission.
Oh, great! Got a lot of embassies now.
Incoming transmission.
Jesus. Another hive mind. Yeah, but UGS found your other ones.
Incoming
can
transmission.
I claim
oh my
the system?"
God. Pause it, please. I'm getting bombarded here.
Pausing. Oh, these are not the same
Try to stop
people.
Situation log updated.
Can I? That would be nice.
Okay, I got a lot of embassies.
Ah, yes, the UGS has made an embassy with me. That's good. They're the people that I really wanted to make friends with.
Okay, so
The Galactic Community, a worthwhile endeavor. Generally, almost always is, unless you're planning on doing a crisis run.
no, I'm not.
Well, I would recommend joining it then.
I just hit the exception. Starhold, that's the next tier up.
Ah, I just got the Starhold. Cool.
I'm gonna do that.
Alright.
I'm gonna build that since we might be going to war soon, aren't we?
Incoming transmission.
Why? Okay, this is fine.
Another hive. That's the collectives. Want me to one embassy with them?
Do what you must. There it is, the Naval Logistics Office. That's what I was looking for. It's a tech that basically increases the amount of stuff of naval capacity that a starbase will give you or an anchorage will give you. All right, so that's good. My first hump of this war has just been completed.
Let's go with that.
It wasn't that big of a hump.
I'm gonna get a hollow keep and... I'm still trying to fight my food shortages for a reason. I haven't gained too much on that. I'm losing too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get the hollow cedar for this planet.
Cool. Trade hub complete. Oh, that's why I was gaining so much money, because I finished making a trade hub in
How
a really
much food do
important
you
spot.
have?
I have 31 monthly and 12,000 on me.
You want to make a trade deal to help me?
Yeah, sure. How much
we
you
could-
want?
At least you get me out of the negative, and negative 12 at least. Yeesh.
I don't love doing.
Well,
Okay.
we lost our active sensors for a year.
Okay, hold on. Let me just do this. You said you're going negative 12.
Yeah, for food, yeah.
Oh, I don't like giving monthly food, but it's fine. It's fine.
At least not as much as high as negative 12, at least.
No, I'll give it. I'll give it you.
Okay.
You won't, Sam? I'll give it you.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone knows that meme. Can I have some alloys?
I have 3.4k.
I would love those. How many are you willing to give?
I'll give you I'll give you 0.1. I'll give you 1.4k.
You can't give me 1.4k.
No, I can't. I have 3.4k. I have.
You only, according to this, what it's telling me right now is that you only have 1.1k. A little more than.
Uh,
I'll ask for 1,000.
that sounds fine.
Incoming
Gabushki.
transmission.
There you go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I gave you one extra too.
That's good.
I am making a surplus, so like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it's fine that I can just like give that to you. But usually, I just don't like giving monthly trade deals with like actually resources unless I'm making like a fuck ton of that resource.
Yeah.
Because I end up getting myself caught in weird situations when I do that. Their capital is way over
Ships
there, and it makes
upgraded.
me sad.
Did you give it to me or you asked from me? Because I'm
Ships
losing
upgraded.
now.
How much are you losing by?
Right.
Because I think.
26 now.
Oh, I did it backwards.
Nice one.
I am what you would call a stupid.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That explains some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let me revert this. So, I don't know why I literally did that backwards, but okay.
That's fine.
No, not monthly, There. Okay. I give you that. No, you give. No. Who the fuck are you? You. Okay. You.
Sure.
And. $26. So I give you 27 food. You give me the alloys. What else was there in that trade deal that I have to revert?
Nothing I know of. Besides you gave me 13 food I asked, but you demanded 13
Incoming
for me.
transmission.
There, I fixed the problem.
Yep. Nice there. Let's hope it does.
Why am I fighting? What's happening?
You
Okay,
didn't put
cool.
24
That's fine.
cents. Thank you.
Birth of the Galactic Community.
Okay, now thank you. Now I'm slightly balanced, so it's producing less, which is fine with me.
The Pan-Galactic Recycling Initiative.
Join the Galactic Community.
Yay! Oh, okay. A machine intelligence. Interesting. Industrial Production Cores.
Cody, care to explain the Galactic Community since we...
So the Galactic Community is something rather new.
Welcome to the Galactic Community.
Not
where
super
diplomats
new, but
from
Let's
around
have
generally
the
new.
Gales Stephanie continue first.
decide galactic law by
Yeah.
voting on resolutions.
So the Galactic Community is basically the game's version of NATO, where the galaxy kind of gets together to bring problems that need fixing to the front. Example, right now, what the galaxy is currently looking at is buzzword standardization, Tiyanki Conservation Act, and the Pan-Galactic Recycling Initiatives. These have different modifiers to members of the Galactic Community. Should they pass or should they not, it won't obviously do anything. For some examples, the buzzword standardization, obviously it does have that little lore blip of what's technically happening, and then there are, more importantly, the modifiers. Diplomatic weight from economy plus 20%. Now, what that means is basically how much you influence the galactic community is determined by a bunch of different numbers showing up at once. And that combines into your diplomatic weight. It comes from your fleet, your population, your economy, and your technology. This is basically saying that it's going to increase how much your economy matters in determining your diplomatic weight. Trade value plus 5%, that's pretty obvious. Basically anything that gives you trade value will do 5% more, but also your bureaucrat workers will be 5% more expensive to upkeep. All in all, generally a good one to keep. I almost always support that. You can have different reasons for supporting, obviously, whether that be RP or just for the effects. That's obviously up to you. Otherwise, one other, a little bit more, how do I say it? One other reason that you might have for supporting or abstaining or not would basically be the fact that if you would go to the resolutions panel in the Galactic Community, please.
I am
The
there.
resolution screen is the list of the
All right, so just click on Galactic Commerce right at the top. It should have a drop down.
What I have on the view is properties. What I have here is the commercial industry, politics,
Yes.
culture.
So directly under commercial industry, look at Galactic Commerce and click that.
Gotcha.
Okay, a drop down should come by. You should see buzzword standardization. It has a little clock next to it. That basically means that it's already being proposed. Of course, it also says all the way on the right there that it is proposed. Now, an important note is that going further down that list, so leverage, privateering, underdeveloped system utilization, etc., you cannot get further down the list without doing the top items on the list first. So right now we're doing buzzword standardization. Should it pass, we will then later be able to propose leveraged privateering. Why this is important is because there are certain sections, I'll say, that can actually pretty deeply hinder or change what's going on in the galaxy. Example, one very important and specific one, if you would go down to environment and technology and the divinity of life tab.
Technology and ecological protection, or
Divinity of life,
Divinity
two
of
below
Life.
that.
Gotcha.
So this is a rather important one. This changes what the galactic standard is for the rights of AI, and specifically how organics should have more rights than AI. So
I see.
So the right to work is a really good example there, how it has a modifier, but it also has an effect if you would hover over right to work.
Right there.
It says, affects unemployed organic pops gain priority for jobs over robotic pops. Normally, it's just whatever is grown first takes that worker spot. In this case, if you have right to work, the organics immediately get precedence over the robots. Now, why this might be important is if you are having a very heavy materialistic society that ends up having a lot of dependency on robots, this might actually start messing up your workflow in terms of who's actually working what jobs. And you'll end up having a lot more robots end up being jobless because robots can only do specific jobs. And it's a whole complicated thing where like you want to know what future items are so that you can just decide whether to help this now. So example, if you really do not want right to work, there are two ways to stop that from happening. Of course, either just simply assure that you have enough diplomatic power so that when it is proposed, fails, or you can try to actually cut it off at the pass, so to speak, where you try stopping Comfort the Fallen or Tithe of the Soulless from ever happening in the first place, because if you don't have those two, you can't get right to work in the first place. So it's a lot of diplomacy. This is where a lot of the underhanded dealings of politics start happening. You can call in favors of the AI to get to force them to give you some of their diplomatic weight on an issue. You can assign envoys to the Galactic Community to increase your diplomatic weight that way. If you support a proposal, the person who gave the proposal gets a very minor, I think it's a 20 boost to reputation or relations with you, and vice versa. If you oppose it, I think they get like a minus 10 or 20. If you abstain, nothing happens. Your vote does not count either way towards help passing or stopping that vote from happening. Makes it pretty obvious just from what abstaining is.
This is going to be interesting. We'll get to this more in depth when the options appear.
Yes, options are going to start flooding quickly. I have supported all three of the current bills. If you're curious, I don't know if you are supporting or declining anything yet.
Incoming transmission.
This is all new to me, so I want to know.
Well, I love looking at the lore of it. I do think that the lore, as you might have guessed, is very interesting to me.
So where would the galactic menu be for if it's not shown?
Say again.
Where would I click on the galactic menu after notifications are passed away?
So if you look at your outliner on the right side of the screen, yes?
Yes.
Look above that. You should see a little blue circle that has like a spiral galaxy in it. Yes?
What I see is the contact, situation, market, plan sectors, expansion planners, politics, edicts, society, ship, fleet manager, technology, factions, claims.
No, not the setting. So basically above the outliner, directly under the time and music's stuff.
Right there it is. I was right.
So you'd click on that. That brings up the Senate. I am the Senate. Not yet. We'll get there.
Okay, so for me,
you know what's sad?
Since this is all new to me, I don't know what to support or what.
So that's going to be completely up to you. If you really have a lot of, if you have a really good economy, then you're obviously going to choose things that help your economy. In this case, I am actually a little conflicted over Charter of Workers' Rights. Because Charter of Workers' Rights is usually one that I do like because it basically is just a give more happiness to a pop. But in this case, we are an authoritarian state, and workers are not actually someone who we want having a ton of political power. So it might not be something it's probably not going to be something we're going to support. Whether or not we oppose it is its own question.
Well, for me, when I'm looking here, what I don't like is the Taki conversation. Because I want to kill those things that are in my solar system. They cause issue for me. I want to kill those.
So the Tianki, from what I've always seen, don't attack you unless you attack them.
Are those the space whales then?
Space amoebas were what fucked you up earlier.
Yeah, so
Tianki
are the space whales.
The Tianki are the big space whales that are pretty passive and don't do anything. There's little reason to kill them. In fact, I don't know why you would outside of just RPing a xenophobe and wanting to murder the space whales because they're very nice and they go
I know
and stuff. So it's like, why you got to do that? You know?
Well, I'm going to support that.
I did support all but the Charter of Workers' Rights. I'm debating, and it makes sense that the UGS would be the one
I'm going to stay abstain because I'm also a person who wants to please the people as well. For me.
I will agree. Abstaining is probably the correct option here.
Yeah, because you and I are different in how we run governments, but we think as one, though. Basically. The recycling.
All right, let's see. An update on my war.
Transmission.
Oh, Jesus. I'm granted independence. I'm granted what the hell? I'm granted
guaranteed independence
from the church again.
Yeah, they probably think that I'm about to attack you, which is not correct unless you want me to.
No.
Hell no. Oh, Tianki Pest Control. Usually, whenever someone does Tianki Conservation Act, someone, I don't know if this is coincidence or if this is actually programmed, someone almost always then puts pest control up. I'm going to oppose that because I am doing the Tianki Conservation Act already. Plus, it is the robots that are doing it. And frankly,
you're robots.
we don't know how. I don't. My society does not know how to feel about robot civilizations, purely because they're such a strange concept.
But if
to them.
if it was an evil pest control, I would support that. But if it's like just Taiyaki, I'm actually just don't care about this one. Actually, I don't care about this one.
Yep, I think that it's more
Incoming
common that you're
transmission.
going to abstain
Sweet
from
Jesus,
things
sweet
than you are going to do
Jesus.
opposing. But I also think that you're going to support things a lot more often.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of unity now. That was a good investment.
Incoming
That was a good
transmission.
investment. That's a good investment.
Mhm. All right, I am at 34% occupation. I have occupied about 34% of their space.
Oh, some busy still going through all this. Oh my god. Uh-oh,
And I am
there's
actually-
a Declaration of War shit somewhere right here. We have Radiant Shield.
Who's declaring war on whom?
No, it's not. There's one of the Galactic Communities put one of those declared war stuff. Issues. Resolutions or something.
The Ready Shield.
Yeah, the Radiant Shield, yeah.
So that is a warfare, defense and war thing. The Readied Shield is pretty good. It increases your upkeep a little bit, but it automatically gives you naval capacity.
Which I should support that then.
I would recommend you support it. Also, if you do plan on being a major military power, diplomatic weight from fleet power would be pretty nice. One important thing that'll show up later is going to be breaching of galactic law.
Yeah,
So
which
what that is,
we saw that once our visit.
that's with the Tianki Conservation Act. If you kill a Tianki, you will be in breach of galactic law. And furthermore, the Military Readiness Act, which is a rather interesting one, the Galactic Community members that are not vassals of another empire that are using less than a half of their naval capacity are in breach of galactic law, which basically translates to you have to have at least half of your naval capacity filled. Or you are in breach of galactic law. Now, what does that mean, breach of galactic law? Well, right now, jack shit.
Yeah, till the end something.
Right now, absolutely nothing. Once they start adding sanctions, that's when something matters. Sanctions are a unique thing where they have one per category, meaning one in commerce and industry, one in politics and culture, etc., etc. And basically, anyone who's found in breach of galactic law will be given a sanction of whichever type has passed. The more sanctions, of course, the more things that happen to you, and the more intense a sanction, the more it affects you. Again, that's rather obvious. Right now, we don't have any sanctions, which basically means people can break the law and there will be no penalty, at least as far